refresh of the game statistically or whatnot, but obviously we came out, we didn't get the outcome we desired, didn't get the outcome we wanted. You got to play smarter football at times on the field. We got to be more productive in certain areas of the team. And I'll say nothing different than I told the team in the locker room. I mean, regardless of who's in the game at what position, that's up to everyone else on that side of the ball, or up to everyone else on the team to be able to go out and raise their level of play, or be able to play at a consistent level that that doesn't show up, and that person is able to go execute the same as anyone else would. And I don't think we did that. I think we've got to play better in those phases. And there were times in the game where we got a little one-dimensional, I thought, at times, and we put ourselves in a poor position as far as offensively, put ourselves in a poor position, with how we were playing. And again, that falls on my shoulders. I take responsibility for that. But at the end of the day, we've got to play better football on the offensive side. Defensively, I thought they had some big plays, did some good things, but also there were some times where they had some things that didn't go their way and some miscommunication on a couple of big plays. We've got to play complete team football, and that's offense, defense, and special teams. And we've got to be able to sustain drives, particularly in the second half on offense, so the defense isn't going back out there every 2 minutes and having to go play, because it ends up showing, and then in the wear and tear of the game ends up in the cumulative amount of plays end up showing. So we've got to do a better job all around of playing complementary football in all three phases.
Okay, questions? Please raise your hand. Take the microphone. Start with
With Zach in the game at quarterback, he was sacked 7 times. What did you see? Was it the fact that he wasn't elusive enough, or should have gotten rid of the ball, or what did you see there?
I mean, when you look at protection of the quarterback, it comes down to number 1, the offensive line, number 2, running backs if they're involved in protection, and number 3, the quarterback making decisions. And I thought in all 3 phases that we were poor. At different times, all 3 phases, or all 3 of those things ended up being part of the problem. But like I said to start, regardless of who's in the game, everyone else has to be able to elevate and play the game complementary to that person.
Kelly.
There were 2, I think, really critical sequences. We had the ball, 3rd and goal, and then the ball had been thrown away, and then the sack on the next second to last drive. And we got in midfield with a little bit of momentum. You guys only ran the ball, I think, with running backs 8 times in the second half.
Right.
Kind of what was going on there? Were you not seeing holes for the running game? Would you just get away from it? Like, kind of what would you put your finger on there?
Kelly, that's the one thing as far as concerning play calls on either side of the ball. I really don't want to say anything about that until we have a chance to get together as a staff and talk about that as a staff together after watching the tape together.
Jackson.
Coach, are you confident if you have to move forward with Zach Gibson at quarterback next Saturday against Florida State?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to, as I told the team in there, I mean, we'll be in the weight room. They'll be in the weight room tomorrow. We'll be back on Sunday practicing. And with Zach being the quarterback, we've got to go to the drawing board and find what gives him the best chance to run the offense and give us a chance to win. So that's something that it's not about me being confident. That's only a small part of it. It's the other guys on the football team that have to have confidence in that. Right? Because that's the name of the game. Right? The name of the game is everyone on the field, and collectively all 3 phases, having confidence in each other. And that's what's got to take place. It's those guys that have to have confidence. They've got to have confidence that the product that's out on the field and the players that are out on the field doing that, they're in the best position to go out and have success for everyone else on the team. And that's defense, that's special teams, that's everyone else that's playing in the game. They're the ones that have to have the confidence. Now, it's up to us as coaches to build that confidence Sunday through Friday before we go and play on Saturday.
Jeff?
Or what happened to Jeff Simmons and what's his injury status?
Again, I have no clue as far as his status, where it goes. We'll know that by, what's today? Today's Saturday. Today's Thursday. That's right. So he'll be in there tonight, and then tomorrow we'll get an update on what his status is. Something in his lower body, lower body, foot, something, foot, toe, ankle, something like that. So we'll find out though, and rest assured that you guys will find out.
Patrick?
Coach, you had some more adventures with the punting game tonight. Nothing blocked, obviously, but some low punts, some slow punts, and some returns. Is that indicative of Virginia doing anything you didn't expect, or is that execution, or maybe a combination?
It always comes down to execution. And first 2 punts we came out, they went max block, ran 5 guys in the front. We were able to get it protected. After the first one protected, it was close. And then the second time we made an adjustment on the sideline. We changed up some of the splitting and some of the angles that we were working with on the punt team. Again, he was able to get it off. He did have one that was the low line drive, kind of down the middle of the field, and we've got to do a better job of getting the thing directionally kicked one way or the other. And then we had the one return where they had a wall set up to one side, right, and everyone was spread in their lanes, the coverage lanes, and then they had one guy get outside, they had the guy get outside of the wall, all right, and we had one person that was late getting back, to keep leverage on the ball from the outside. But again, it's a work in progress. We're working, every week on that. I thought it was positive that when the heat came on that first one, that we were still able to get the football off, and actually he had a couple that were really good kicks. When we had put him in a bad situation, backed up inside almost, I think it was the 5-yard line. He had a couple. He got out of there and was able to get the roll on it and really help with the field position.
Okay.
The last play, I think Zach thought he had one more time when he was running out of bounds.
I hadn't talked to Zach. I would assume that's the case if you run out of bounds with 0 seconds on the clock. I would think thought he had a little more time, but he was, thought the clock was going a little slower, and he would have had a chance to save himself for one more play there. But that's part of offensive football, is to understand situational football, and always to know with that clock, know the time on the clock, and know how much time you have to move around, run around, and then if it becomes last play scenario, now you've got to take the shot regardless down the field.
Okay, we've got time for 2 more. We'll do Bryce, and then we'll do David in the back.
Coach, the last couple games you've been able to have a consistent run game. Do you feel like the offense felt the effects of not being able to get that tonight?
I think the whole team felt the effects. I mean, because it's a team game, and I was very blunt about that in the locker room with the guys. That it's all 3 phases. It's all 85 guys on scholarship, 105 guys on the team that feel the effects of things. And we'd had some success. The last 2 weeks. Becoming more efficient and effective running the football. I thought on the first drive tonight we showed some efficiency, and we showed some runs popping in there 3-4 yards. I think one pop for 6 or 7, and then kind of as the game went on, and you took the dimension of the run threat of Jeff went away. So they're able to play a little bit different defensively too. So but anytime you become one-dimensional on the offensive side of the football, you're going to feel the stress of it, throughout the rest of the game, through the whole team. Because you become field position oriented too now. When you're running, you're working the clock, you're working field position, so it comes into play now how much field the defense has to defend, and then then it puts more stress on the punt team, and then the return game of trying to flip the field.
David?
Coach, you emphasized confidence. Do you feel like the team lacked that tonight?
I don't. I felt it lacked execution.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.